We've never been more back. It's Tim May, the 41-year vet. It's Andy Backstrom. It's Spencer Holbrook. It's bold predictions. Tim, no. Game one, Andy gets to start us off. Andy,
shake it up.
Andy, bold prediction for Ohio State versus Akron.
Yeah, Ohio State's going to score 6 touchdowns by halftime.
Let's go.
That's kind of a tease at my score prediction, or just how crazy I'm going to get, but I say 6 touchdowns by halftime.
I was going to go with something very similar. I'm thinking. I'm stammering because I was going to go with something very similar. So I'm going to go. Ohio State's going to score at least 6 touchdowns by halftime. How's that? Ohio State might. And just as soon as you say something like, it's like picking a shutout and then a guy kicks a field goal at the end of the game, or something because of something stupid. I'm thinking Ohio State's going to score the first 4 times it has the ball in some form or fashion.
There you go.
Offensively.
That's different. Okay, there we go. I think Ohio State is going to record 8 sacks as a team. Akron, horrendous last year at giving up pressure. They gave up pressure from the interior. They gave up pressure on the edge. They gave up pressure when teams blitzed. It didn't matter who it was, whether it was the big boys that played early in the season. If it was the MAC slate, it was bad. They were 2-10. They were 2-10, and I think the worst of that was the offensive line. I think Jack Sawyer is going to try to prove something, get this crowd riled up even for an Akron game. Should really have a showing in the home opener. I think Jim Knowles is going to give a little bit of what he wants to do with this defense, because there's not really a game where you can, build up to. You just need to play your game.
Cut them loose.
Leave no doubt.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Cut them loose.
Yeah. Akron was 126 last year at giving up sacks. They gave up 48 sacks as a team. That's a lot of sacks to give up as one team. And, Ohio State's going to take advantage of that. I think the Buckeyes are going to rack up 8 sacks. And I think I predicted on Monday in my column that 5 different Buckeyes would have a sack. So it kind of lines up together. Andy, who's going to be the offensive player of the game for these Ohio State Buckeyes?
Hey, I'm going to Mecca Ibuka. His first career catch was against Akron back in 2021. I asked him about it on Wednesday, and he said that pass was not even supposed to be thrown by Kyle McCord, and Kyle McCord got chewed out for it. Ended up being an 85-yard gain for Mecca Ibuka, his first career catch. Now he plays Akron again to open his senior season. I think he's going to have a couple touchdowns. He had 3 touchdowns in that scrimmage that Ryan Day talked about. I feel like, if you've forgotten about Mecca Ibuka, first of all, you're not watching enough Ohio State football, but if you somehow did, he's going to be back healthy this time, and I think he's going to have a huge season starting on Saturday.
My pick is going to be Will Howard. I think you're going to see different aspects of why Ohio State decided he was the guy in the transfer portal to be the next quarterback, the next starting quarterback at Ohio State. I'm thinking he's going to throw a couple of touchdown passes, and I'm thinking he's going to run for at least 1. But he may throw several more touchdown passes, because that's where I see a real mismatch. It's not necessarily Akron doesn't have some good players in the secondary, but they don't have as many in the secondary as Ohio State's got really good wide receivers. So that's my answer. That's my final answer.
Guys, you think that Jeremiah Smith is not going to have a debut here?
I know. I went into the spring game thinking he was going to be the dude,
both of you,
and Mecca Ibuka was the dude.
Listen, Ryan Day said on purpose, I'm not going to talk about him until he plays the game at Ohio State. Everyone knows how good this guy is. They're definitely going to at least try to unveil what he can do a little bit on Saturday. So I'm just going to take him as my player of the game. I had an honorable mention. I had a guy I was going to go with just because it's the MAC, but I can save him for next week.
Aren't y'all as curious as I am? Who is Akron going to try to take out of the game from a defensive coverage standpoint?
Tim,
that's about as curious a question as there is, because there are 2 other guys. Carnell Tate, the most untalked about guy in the preseason, like you wrote about.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret here.
I don't know how Akron does this.
I'll let you in on a little secret.
By the way, I'm not picking Akron to win.
I don't think Akron's going to stop anybody. I don't think they can stop a nosebleed. On Saturday in the Horseshoe.
You're saving that line.
Defense player of the game.
Defense player game?
Yeah,
Caleb
you know
Downs.
the drill. Come on now.
Well, Caleb Downs, because this is the first time we can pick him, but also I think he'll have an interception. I think, look, Ben Finley's the quarterback for Akron. He's a 2-time transfer, played at Cal, also played at North Carolina State. He has not a very good touchdown-interception ratio, folks, and I think he's thrown 7 touchdowns this career, 9 interceptions. I think he'll throw a couple more interceptions on Saturday, and one of those ball hawks back there is Caleb Downs. I think he'll get his hands on the ball, if not on offense, because you guys know I'm high on that.
Yeah.
On defense, certainly on Saturday.
I'm going with Tyleik Williams. because I think he's going to create havoc, chaos, whatever words you want to use there that means crumbling for the other team. I think Tyleik Williams is going to have a hell of a day as long as his day lasts.
I'm going to go Cody Simon. Helmet comms, new. He's the quarterback of this defense. But I also think that...
Wait a minute, is this on merit or is this on actual production in the game?
It's production.
Okay.
I'm going to explain why here.
Okay.
Joe Moorhead is no idiot.
No.
He knows that he's not going to win this game. So what do? You preserve your life. You run the football, get the hell out of there however you can. I think Akron is going to run the football. They're not going to do it well, but I think they're going to run the ball, especially if it becomes 28-0 in the second quarter. Like, Akron's not coming back from that. Run the ball, get out of here. I think Cody Simon's going to rack up tackles. I do.
Okay.
He's always in the right spot. He always seems to be in his gaps. I think that's going to equal a lot of tackles on Saturday, just because I think Akron's going to try to take the air out of the ball and just be okay with these 3-and-outs and a couple first downs maybe here and there and running the football. So I think Cody Simon is going to be my player of the game.
Yeah, my fault there was just thinking they're going to come in and still try to do something big time. You know what I mean? So that's my fault, because what you just said makes sense. They want the paycheck for sure. And then, like you said, they want to get out healthy, just like Ohio State wants to get out of this game healthy. So I can see that. But, boy, when I look at this Ohio State defensive front, I'm talking about the front six.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
good luck. This isn't the same defensive front seven that Joe Moorhead saw several years ago when he was the offensive coordinator at Oregon.
Or at Penn State.
When
he was the offensive coordinator, Chase Young.
Yeah.
Stopped the 4th and 5. I think that was Joe Moorhead. Anyway.
Might have been, but the shove sack,
Yeah, for sure. Score prediction.
That was Joey Bosa, excuse me. I'm getting my former Penn State games mixed up.
Well, they all run together when James Franklin's the head coach.
They ran that zone read inside, and Chase Young looped in and got him.
I'm going 63-3 Ohio State. I think they're going to match the number of points they had against Western Kentucky last year, score 63. One thing I will say, guys, is that when we're watching the Ohio State offensive line, we've had a microscope on them all offseason. We've talked about them ad nauseum. I think it is worth noting that I think the best position group on this Akron team is their defensive line. C.J. Nunnerly is probably one of the best pass rushers returning in the MAC, at 7 sacks last year, one forced fumble. They brought in a guy from UNH, Nathan Kapongo. He's a 6'4" defensive tackle, big body in there. Bennett Adler had a couple sacks in defensive tackle position. So you got some names there that are notable in the MAC, and this offensive line needs to be judged every week. They need a clean sheet this week. No sacks given up, not many TFLs, if any. I think I'm going to be watching that for sure. But 63-3, I don't think it's going to be a problem for Ohio State.
See, I'm supposed to be the MAC guy in here, and he's name dropping Akron defensive tackles. This guy's a freak. Score prediction, Tim.
I always knew he was a Zips fan. I mean, I knew that. Score prediction, I'm going to go something in the neighborhood of 69-3.
Okay.
I know Jack Sawyer and his group, they want a shutout.
They sure do.
But it is so hard to get a shutout, especially when you empty the bench to a certain extent. I think Ohio State's going to play a lot of guys in this game. But I'm looking at something like 69-3, because to say this team is on a mission is really downplaying it. I'm talking about Ohio State. I don't think they want to leave any doubt. This is a game where they're going to be judged on how badly, that's not the correct term, how thoroughly they beat this team.
Yeah.
And if it's anything less than a slap down, then that'll be tough. I think this team is hungry, and 69-3. I want to see James Peoples get some action, because I'm really curious how he plays.
When I used to get in trouble, Tim, my grandma used to say she was going to paint my back porch red.
Wow.
I think
my mom said go pick out a switch.
I think, okay. There's similarities there. They're both from the South. I think I'm going to pick Ohio State to do that to Akron. I think I'm going to go 52-3. They want the shutout.
I thought you were going to say 53 to zip.
No, I can't say that they're going to zip the zips, Tim. I had that line in the back of my head. I just can't do it.
I thought that was coming.
Too many times they burned me last year. Indiana, 3 points. Western Kentucky, 10. Minnesota, 3 on a 60-yard field goal or whatever. Michigan State, 3 on kind of a fluky field goal. They just can't seem to get it done. Maybe next week against Western Michigan I'll pick it, because I think Western Michigan might be not just as bad, but they'll be pretty bad in the MAC. I don't think they'll put up a fight next week, but that's for next week, because I think that Ohio State's going to win 52-3 here, which also doesn't cover that spread, which is kind of crazy, but that's what it is.
Who cares about that?
Any closing thoughts, Tim, before we get to the horseshoe on Saturday?
I'm just I've been saying this for a while. I'm very eager, just because I'm curious about how this defense is going to play. I was talking with Archie Griffin about this, and by the way, he's dotting the I on Saturday, and he's getting his statue unveiled on Friday.
Yep.
So good
Today.
for him. Yeah, he's putting the arch in the rotunda. Get it? But anyway,
oh gosh,
I even used that line with him. It was pretty funny. The point I'm making is, I like to watch really good defenses play. I mean, who doesn't like offense? But this has a chance to be one of the great defenses in Ohio State history, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
But this is a game where you should go in having the advantages I think they have talent-wise, and just put a stranglehold on these dudes.
Yeah.
Get after them. I mean, get after them up front. That's why I picked Tyleik Williams as my defensive player of the game, because I think he is really primed. But who knows? He may end up being on the no-play list. You never know about that, right?
Or he'll get 20 snaps because they're winning so bad.
Exactly. So, that's why I like Tyleik Williams and Ty Hamilton to have a game.
Yeah.
Because I think they're really going to gap jump and get after these dudes.
Anything else?
Look, Akron is 4-20 over the last 2 years, and I don't think this game will be any indication of how they're going to be this year. Like they might be okay in the MAC. Maybe they'll win 4 or 5, 6 games or something like that. Look, they lost 5 games last year by 1 score or less.
Yeah.
4 of them by 3 points or fewer.
Yep.
I'm not saying this game's going to be anywhere close. Again, 63-3 is my pick. Doesn't matter who Akron is, though. This Ohio State team is stacked. It's loaded. They should be dominant. They will be dominant week 1. They have to be dominant every week, though. And that's kind of been the message for this team. And it starts on Saturday. So that's got to be the measuring stick. Like last year when they beat Youngstown State 35-7, they can't have one of those games this year.
Life comes full circle sometimes because Ohio State's going to play a MAC opponent to start the season. Obviously, MAC graduate. Very, very proud of that, if you guys can't tell. And I look on the schedule, and the Ohio Bobcats are playing who? The Syracuse Orange. Who's the quarterback for Syracuse? It's Kyle McCord, former Ohio State starter, Kyle McCord. It's just a full circle Saturday, if I can give a little nickname to the weekend.
What do you feel about that? How do you feel about that game?
Oh, he's going to destroy the Bobcats,
Okay.
I think, because I like Kyle. And
I like Kyle, too.
I'm a little low on the Bobcats this year, but we don't talk about those guys.
Yeah.
We talk about Ohio State. This has been Bold Predictions. I had a lot of fun. We're going to continue to have fun. This is our fun video. Friday, little chance to stretch, cut loose, have a little fun on camera for
Best
you guys.
Fridays in football.
It is the best Fridays in football. That's what Urban Meyer said. That's what Ryan Day says. And that's what Tim May, the 41-year vet, says. Andy Backstrom, I think he says the same thing. And me, Spencer Holbrook. 50% off right now at lettermenrow.com. Go to lettermenrow.com right now. Put in that little promo code when you go to get your membership, Kickoff24. You get 50% off an annual membership to Lettermen Row. That is half of the normal price. If you don't know what 50% is, that is half of the normal price of lettermenrow.com. Andy's going to be there. Tim's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Don't miss it. We'll see you guys over at lettermenrow.com, and then we'll see you in the horseshoe finally for Ohio State football on Saturday against the Akron Zips.